Okay, there should be people that are hopping on off. Okay, so a couple things. Thank you so much for being on the call tonight. It's April 19th. I hardly can't even believe it. We're approaching on the end of the month, where half of the month is done. And I wanted to give you a few tips for the end of the month, and we're gonna go ahead and get started with Trina because I'm really excited to have her. Number one, if something is not working for you, okay, conversations, program, an eating plan, change it up. Find something new that you can get excited about. That is exactly what I did 7 days ago, and I have completely flipped up my entire market, and I'm getting mass messages. Not because I've changed, but because I posted this picture and people are like, what the heck are you doing? And I just tried something new. I was really scared to share it. I literally had anxiety before I shared it. I didn't want to share it. And if you know me, most of the time I do a lot of my stuff on my like page. So this was a big change for me. I posted it last night on my like page, had a few people reach out, but I knew that wasn't the engagement that I was normally going to get on my personal page. So I just tried it again. I have had at least 50 messages since I posted it at like 12 o'clock today. And it's just people, and whether or not they join me now, I am now re-engaging in conversations. I'm excited about something. I'm doing something different. I made it very clear what's working for me may not work for them. But anyhow, so if you that was my tip. If something's not working for you, try something new. Also, I'm leaving to Punta Cana on the 26th. I'm really excited about that. So pay attention to the team page about how you can step up and participate and be leaders together. I really appreciate that as a leader, not feeling like there's a lot on my shoulders, knowing that you guys can step up and fill up that plate. If you are not on video, the new Zoom, if you might have downloaded it, the video, you have to click on the bottom left-hand corner. So some of you, I can see your name, but I can't see your video if you care. And then please mute yourself unless I'm going to mute you all. I love you to pieces, but I'm going to mute you. And then last thing, no matter where you're at, you have, what is it, 31 days in this month? I should know that. 30, okay, so we have 11 days to start conversations, be genuine, get excited, and be yourself. I know that you guys are amazing. You're on this call right now, which means you're making efforts to be here. You could be doing anything else. And I know that some days you're excited and pumped up, and then other days it's like, oh, what happened? So try to find some type of momentum, something that you can bring every single day that you can get excited about, and make sure you always put yourself first. In this business, I know that's hard to do, but make sure you always have your journey you're working on, your personal development, things that are working for you, so you can share those excitement with the people that you're talking to. Okay, so I'm going to be done without further ado. My friend Trina is on the call tonight, and I think we were talking about this on her call, but I feel like we met, we met at some type of, I know the first time I met her. She doesn't remember. Okay, this is the story I wanted to tell you guys. So I was at the 2-Star Leadership Conference, and you spoke there, Trina. I don't know exactly what year it was. It was like, I should know that, but like 2-3 years ago, whatever. And she was talking, and she was so relatable. And I was like, I'm going to wait. Okay, no, if you don't know Trina, let me give you a little background. She's a busy full-time mom and wife. She's a coach since 2008. She's a 15-star diamond coach, which is like the highest that you can be in this company. She's a 10-star, and she's a millionaire club member. She's a 5-time elite. And we're a 3-time elite team. My mind is like blown for the fact of 5-time elite. Like, there is few and farther between. The more elites that you add on to each year, the harder it is. And that is absolutely incredible. She's a CAB member. If you don't know what that is, you get selected. And I don't know exactly how you get selected. I should know that, Trina. But you get selected, and you represent Beachbody coaches, and you just kind of help us create new ideas and come up with new things. On the coach advisory board, Success Club for so many years. I don't even know if she counts anymore, but maybe like 500 months. And more than anything, one of the things that I really love about her is she's a small town girl, like a small town girl with big dreams. She never like let anything get in her way. I'm going to mute this. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. I love you, but I will unmute you in just a second. Okay. So real quick, the story. So that's her background. And if that doesn't like blow you out of the mind, you'll just get blown away because she's like talking to your sister. She's just like a really cool person to talk about. But the one thing I will always appreciate about Trina, and I don't know if I've told her this. I don't know if I told her this before, but I don't remember. Is I waited in this long line because I call people Beachbody famous. Trina's Beachbody famous. So like you go up to her and she'll like at the summit, she'll have 30 people in line to get a picture with her. And she's super down to earth and she's super sweet. So I waited in this line. I was like, I'm going to talk to Trina and I'm going to tell her. And I just told her I just said, I just connect with you. You're such a nice person. And I was like, and I told her my name. Okay. Very simple. Like 2 hours later, we're in the parking lot and she's like, hey girl, hey Kiana, how are you doing? And I was like, holy crap, the Trina Gray said my name. Now I know to you that to me shows the kind of servant leadership that she is. She cares enough about a person like me who doesn't had a lot of rank, who wasn't known in the company to know my name. To her, I know that sounds weird because Trina is so like humble that hearing that story is like, oh my gosh. And I respect her. I love her, but she's just like you and me. Know that. Okay. But that is a big part of who she is. She will take the time to talk to you. She will look you in the eye. We will be walking by each other and she'll be like, are you thinking the same thing I'm thinking? And I'm like, yes, we just attended a leadership conference and we ran into each other in the pool. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like shaky, like thinking of all these things. And Trina was like, said exactly how I was feeling. We're usually on the same page. She has a rock star team. So without further ado, I just want to tell you that is something I will always remember about you, Trina, that you stopped and you listened and you remembered my name out of all these people that came up. You're like, hey girl, hey Kiana. I know it was something simple, but it was something that meant a lot to me. And it's something that I've tried to pass down to newer coaches as they come up to me and say, you know, I follow you on social media and you're such, and I'll be like, what's your name? And I try when I see them later at Summit or different places, say hi, because I think that that's really, really important and means a lot to people. So thank you. That is my story. But without further ado, I am going to let Trina rock your world. So Trina, can you unmute yourself or do you want me to unmute you? I can unmute you. I got it right there.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the energetic introduction. I love it. I do have some feedback or some echoing. There we go. You and your dog just needed to mute that line. Okay, cool. Can you all hear me okay? Yeah, good, decent. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. It is always fun when I see you to remember why you are where you are in the company, because you are just naturally enthusiastic, I think, about life and about this business and about this team. So it's so awesome. I love being a guest speaker on Team Zooms, and you really learn a lot about a leader just in how they start their Zoom and how they introduce and what they say. And I've been on Zooms before where the leader's shown up 10 minutes late, hasn't introduced me, and just been like, go. And I've been on Zooms before where people do things like that. So that says a lot about you and the team that you're on, that you take the time to share a fun story and an introduction and have so much energy. So thank you for having me tonight. There's a million things I could share, right? But sometimes I think it's more fun, like in a small group setting, to just share a little bit about my story, some of the struggles in my story, because I feel like sometimes we relate to people more through their struggles. I want to share a little bit of my journey with you because Kiana had asked me to. And then I have a few tips I want to share with you that I think would help you kind of look at 2017 a little bit differently. And these are just like directly from right out of my business, right off of my desk right here in Alpena, Michigan. These are the notes that I've been using with my own team in the past couple of weeks. I have them all in front of me and I'm just going to share them with you. So a little bit about my story that I think would be interesting or relevant to you is that, man, you struggle a lot in this business on the way to success. And it's the people who have an idea of where they're going who keep going. There was 1,000 reasons why I shouldn't have stayed with this for 8 years. And when I share some of them with you, Some of you might be like, is she joking? Is she for real? She was really that bad of a coach. I really was that bad of a coach. There's a lot of reasons why it shouldn't have worked, but I can tell you really simply why I think it did work for me. I know Kiana read a bunch of accolades at the beginning, but at the end of the story, what she missed, the only thing she missed was, I'm not a full-time mom. I'm a full-time mom. I love my kids and I'm a full-time mom, but I do work full-time, right? I work and I have this Beachbody business and I have 2 kids and my husband works and we have no family in the area. I choose all those things in my life, right? I could leave that full-time job. My husband could leave his full-time job. Some people get in Beachbody to retire their spouse and to, be at home. That's not us, right? We are a super active family, really tight-knit family. We do a lot together. Our kids are involved in our businesses that we both have. But I work full time. So it's not like I have any luxury, as any of you do either, of just working this business from 9 to 5 from a spa on a laptop. It's like really trying to cram this in everyday life. Okay. Just like you, I was at soccer tonight. My son had robotics. He had this idea that he wanted to build a fan. So I took him to Home Depot. They didn't have the part. We made dinner. I mean, I've been everywhere. Okay. So my day probably looks a lot like yours. And I can tell you that I've made it this far, 8 years into it, for these 3 reasons. All right. They didn't all come at the same time, but I have them now, and that's why I've made it. And this is what I want you to have. Okay. I'll tell you what they are, and then I'll share parts of my story. I have a lot of belief in myself. I have a lot of belief in this company, and I have a lot of belief in my team. And those might sound just really basic, but those are profound. I want to share a little bit of those with you. Belief in self. Belief in self. I have never in my 8 years of coaching seen a single coach march this far or stay with it or build the business, earn the income, create the freedom without the belief in self, because you can't fake it that long. You can't fake it that long. All right. Now I'm going to share these 3 with you. This is why I'm successful. These 3 reasons finally all collided, but I'll take you back in my story and show you kind of how those happened. So stay with me on the learning points first. Belief in self. There's a million books you can read, Girl Code, Big Magic, Compound Effect, like Badass, like whatever. You can read 1,000 books. But at the end of the day, if you don't believe that you personally, your name, Melissa, Cynthia, Amanda, Valencia, Christine, if you don't personally believe that you are deserving of success, that you are supposed to be a successful, happy, thriving woman in fitness, having this team, having this business, if you don't see yourself as a leader in health and fitness who wants to help other people, if you don't see yourself as someone other people want to be a part of, you can't go past go. You can't collect the $200. It's so foundational that there are simple things you can do to start working on it. I remember when I was shaky in my belief on self, obviously I did a lot of personal development, listened to podcasts, listened to, authors. I went to conferences. I heard from people. But at the end of the day, I had to actually see my success before I ever had it. So I started envisioning what my life would feel like. Now, I'm not saying I lived for the future. All right. I'm a very present in the moment person, but I had to start envisioning, if I did create this business, if I was deserving of being this leader that I want to be, what would my life look like and feel like? What would I be doing? Where would I be traveling? What would my experiences be with my family? What would be different about my life? So many things would be different about my life if I had this business. And back when I was dreaming these things, if I thought about it too hard, I would have thought, it can't be me. I'm in this small town. A lot of reasons why I felt like it couldn't be me. I'm too busy. But I just decided to think, like, why not me? Who is more deserving than you are? Who is more deserving than you are? If your child came to you, or your niece or your nephew or whoever came to you and said they had a big dream, would you say to them, it's not for you? There's somebody in your class that's more deserving of that. Like, never. We're so much more committed to supporting other people's dreams than our own. So belief in self is the foundation of this whole thing. And I mean that very seriously, that would you be able to, if I set my timer, which you don't have time to right now, but a great exercise for you, I'm going to tell you, if I set my timer for a minute, if I asked you to write down 10 positive things about yourself, could you do that? I am caring. I'm genuine. People trust me. I'm likable. I care. I strive to be better every day. I'm trustworthy. I have integrity. I'm funny. I think I'm funny. Could you quickly write down 10 things about yourself that you love? That you love. What holds us back the most in this business is truly up here. I'm not smart enough. I don't have enough connections. I don't look like her. I don't talk like her. I don't get what she gets. It is all just us being our worst enemy. You've read this, you know this, but I'm telling you that unless you deal with it, face it, swallow it, you can't move on. So why don't you start being your biggest cheerleader? When I tell you that belief in self is the number one key to success in this business, start telling yourself you love yourself. Start saying, I love who I am. I love who I'm becoming. I love the woman I'm meant to be. I love the woman I'm striving to be. See her. She's strong and she's beautiful on the inside and the outside. Right? You have to start envisioning that woman that you want to be. Now, okay? So belief in self, it's a huge one. I could talk a whole hour just on that, and I'm going to try to keep this brief. So that's some things I had to do to find belief in self. You hear similar things from people, but maybe you'll hear them at the right time from me, for you, right? You've heard this before, what I'm going to say, but maybe you didn't need to hear it before. For me to have more belief in myself, I absolutely had to commit on a daily basis to stop looking at what everyone else was doing. Jealousy and comparison, as you know, are a quick way to failure. They suck the joy out of life. And I don't even think it's possible in this day and age of social media everywhere to not fall prey to it. When I was looking at what other top coaches were doing along my journey, I was paralyzed. I can always come up with 5 reasons why they can do it better. 5 reasons why they have more time. 5 reasons why they have more resources. 5 reasons why they're better at it. It's constantly a reminder when I see what other people are doing. It's a constant reminder. It's human nature for all of us to think that we're not good enough. We could never be that. That is what made me so stuck in my self-belief for so long, was these really difficult comparisons of no matter what industry you're in, but let's just talk about in our industry of health and fitness, of Beachbody coaching, of living a life on social media. I had to shut it down. And when I mean shut it down, I'm not saying that what I do is what all of you should do, but I truly don't go on the news feed, right? So I know who I am trying to attract, and I speak to that audience. When people notice me, I notice them. That's it. I know who I'm trying to attract. I know who I want to help. And so I speak to her and I put content out for her. When she notices me, I notice her back. That means that there are things that happen in my life, in my community, in my friends group that I literally do not know. And I rely on others to tell me. And I figure if it's big enough, they will tell me. So the people I work with, the coaches I work with, I have in a separate thread, a separate group on Facebook. So I can quickly click on my PS coaches and go check out what they're up to and show them some love. So I'm not completely disengaging from my coach's life, but you just need to narrow your news feed. And I know that seems so simple. And maybe some of you have done it already, but I'm guessing 99% of you have not done that. I'm telling you that even if you have good intention, when you go on the newsfeed and see what other people are doing, you literally can't help but doubt yourself or question yourself. It leads to questioning. Even if you're a very confident person, good for you. If you're a confident person and you know the direction you're going in, awesome. But looking at what everyone else is doing will eat at your psyche. Should I be doing that? I didn't think to do that post. Should I do a funny post with my dog up in the air? Am I supposed to be taking my kids to Disney? Like, dude, do you. Do you. It's crazy the things that we think that we should be doing when we see other people are doing them. And I'm like, I don't even like Disney. What am I talking about? I don't care that that's what she's doing. Okay, this is crazy. So when I mean I really don't know when things happen, a true story, I really don't honestly know when things happen. And my husband came home from work a couple weeks ago and said, oh my gosh, did you see what happened with insert name of local friend? And I was like, no, what do you mean? He goes, how do you not know? It's all over Facebook. I'm like, because I'm not all over Facebook. Right? So that's okay. For the few things that I miss out on in life, I save myself. For the few things that I probably should have known about in somebody's life that I miss out on, I save myself so much time, energy, worry. Okay? I spent a long time on that one. I hope it's okay. So belief in self is a huge one. Belief in the team. So if you can write this down, or if you can remember this, Lone Rangers don't make it to the finish line in Beachbody. Lone Rangers don't work. I share this a lot with my team because there are people with the tendency of being reclusive, independent. I'll just do it my way. I'm going to head over here. I'm just going to try to figure this out on my own. I don't want to be a part of a team. I'm just going to, honestly, like bulldoze my way through this thing. You won't bulldoze your way to anything successful that's meaningful. Right? Lone Rangers don't succeed in this business. There are always other products you can sell. There's always other companies you can join. I hope that you stay and grow and thrive because of the team, because people become your friends, because you learn from each other, because it becomes more of a sisterhood or a mastermind or a coaching group beyond a product. I love Beachbody products. They're awesome. I'm on the 3-day refresh right now. God help me. Right. And so, yeah, somebody else, yeah, whatever. All of you like lacking in energy right now. You're like, I'm on the refresh, babe. I just want to go to bed. So I believe in the products. I love the products. I love fitness, but I like all kinds of fitness. Do I think that their fitness is great? I do think their fitness is great. But why have I really stayed and grown? It's so much my commitment to the team, to the other women I've brought on, to the friendships I've created, to where we're going together. Right. And we just had, if you guys have had this happen on your team, I'm sure you have, but I mean, people go to other companies, they go to wine distributors, they go to other diet kind of fad diet style companies, whatever. And it doesn't happen a lot. Like I haven't personally had a PS coach go to another team or go to another business, but I've had coaches on my downline do that. And I always just think at the end of the day, they didn't leave because of Shakeology. They didn't leave because they didn't like the 21-day fix. They didn't leave because, they're against the new superfoods of the vegan shake. They left because they weren't connected to the team. Right. So if there's something you're thinking about with like, a coach you bring on, a discount coach, a coach who's not doing as much as you wish she were, or you aren't doing as much as you wish you were, how are you feeling the community of the team? By the way, it doesn't always have to be big like this. I sometimes think people stay because of individual friendships, relationships that they create on this team. So I just want to encourage you that as you bring people in to help create those connections, I am a beast on this piece. When I bring people in that I think have something in common, I don't wait for them to try to meet each other in the team page, right? I start private messages. I did one today. Christine, meet Melissa. Melissa, meet Christine. You're in California. She's in Ohio. You're both moms. You both do this, 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 and this. This is what I think you have in common. I just try to introduce people a lot. That doesn't always have to be, by the way, like a formal success partnership or strategic partnership. Like, can you just create more community by strategically creating community with people? And my team over the weekend, I was like, oh my gosh, I have 2 coaches with the same name and their sons have the same name. They are destined to be on this team. They will never leave, right? So I messaged them over Easter. I noticed that because I had them all share an Easter post from the weekend, just something from their personal life. I don't always want to just talk business. So I just wanted to see, what are you doing this weekend? Let us into your life. And Bethany posted a picture of her and her son, Landon. And Bethany posted a picture of her and her son, Landon. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I never make this connection? Like your soulmates. So point being is look for ways to connect people, even if they're not your own PS, other people on this team. Look for ways to connect people. People stay connected through the team. My sister is very successful in this business. She's a 2-star diamond on her way to 5-star this year. She's doing awesome, but she has a tendency to just be a lone ranger in life in general. And so pulling her into the team having her contribute on team Zooms, having her meet other coaches, having her come to live events, having her go to Super Saturdays, having her meet and create relationships with other people is not always easy. But I know if I don't keep pulling her into the team, that Lone Rangers never make it. And my sister's very smart. She's going to make this, but it could be easier for her. It has been easier for her as she's embraced being a part of a team. I use her as an example because I know I can. The third piece is belief in the business. Honestly, here's the deal. Do you believe that they're led with integrity? Do you believe that Carl Deichler, John Congdon, do you believe that they're good human beings? If you're not sure, you should look them up and read more about them, right? They are. So to believe in the company, I think you got to believe in who they are, right? For people who wanted to stay at Apple and be kind of trailblazers, they had to believe that Steve Jobs was a person worth following. So I do believe that to be a part of this business, you have to have some kind of, emotional connection to the leadership. Do you believe that they're good human beings? Do you believe that they want to end the trend of obesity? I do. I've been on their coach advisory board. I have seen them in person. I've seen them speak as you have. You can't fake that kind of conviction. Then it goes into, do you believe in what the company wants to do? I do. I shared with my team recently that there's so many businesses you can get involved in, in industries outside of network marketing, of course, but just within network marketing. How many people in your community sell freaking $90 leggings? Okay. How many people sell makeup or skincare or ketogenics, or people sell all kinds of stuff? And that's cool. Do you, right? But I am really proud of the fact that I tell my kids, your mom has a career in health and fitness. This company needs us. This country needs us. Healthcare is expensive. A lot of people can't afford it. Companies are cutting it. It's a nightmare, right? No matter what the administration is, healthcare is difficult. I want to be on wellness, not acute care. I want to be I want to be a problem solver. There's people that can't afford their medications. Like, I really believe I'm convicted in the calling of wellness in health and fitness. I want to tell my kids that I'm building us a family business that's built on health and fitness. It never goes out of style. It never goes out of style. Are you building a business that never goes out of style? I don't care what the next product release is or what flavor it is. People get really caught up on, like, do they like the next trainer? Or do they not? Dude, it's health and fitness. Do you believe in that? Keep going, right? Keep going. So those three things, belief in self, belief in team, belief in business, are the three things you have to have like locked down. When I talk to coaches who are stuck, and I'll give you this tip, when I talk to coaches who are stuck, that's my quick little litmus test. I'll sometimes send it over Messenger. I'll sometimes do it on a voice memo. I'll sometimes do it on a Zoom. I said to one of my coaches recently, who was stuck, Kyla is her name. I said, Kyla, here's the three things: self, team, and business. I'm sorry if I said those in different orders before, but it's the same three: self, team, and business. Can you give me a quick 1 to 10 rating on where you are in those? What a quick way to help narrow your focus. What a quick way. If someone says, yeah, I believe in myself. I believe I can do this. I've done it before. I'm just in a rut. Yeah, I believe in this team. I'm plugged in. And like, no, I'm not really inspired about the business right now. Like, I haven't done any products lately. My results aren't good myself, whatever. You'll figure out what hole needs to be plugged. Does that make sense? Quick, really awesome strategic coaching tip is have people rate themselves on those three and then help them fill the gaps. Then you got to know how to help them fill the gap. Someone's not feeling real connected to the team. What are you going to do? Do a Friday night wine and grind. Get some ladies together and have a glass of wine and do a power hour. Do some fun tank tops for your team and have people earn them. Like, I don't know, 1,000 things you can do. I just did a really cool book club in my team on the Girl Code. Phenomenal book that really tackles envy, jealousy, self-doubt, things like that. The Girl Code. I did a really awesome book club in my team on the Girl Code. Why? To raise this level of belief in team. Okay, so I gave you my tips. I did go in reverse order of what I was going to do on this call, and I hope you don't mind. I'm usually a little bit more focused, but those are my 3 tips. Let me tell you a few things about my story that might surprise you, and then I'll take some questions. I started as the biggest failure of a coach that you've ever seen. If you could have rated me as a failure 1 to 10, I was off the grid 10 plus. All right. A couple highlights of my failures would be that I was in the closet as a coach. I didn't want people to know I was a coach. I was a coach to some people, but not to everyone. I thought they would judge me. You might be in fitness, you might not be, doesn't matter to me, but I was in fitness as a group fitness instructor, a personal trainer, and I felt like this wasn't real fitness, or I was like selling out. Everybody has their reasons. My parents didn't like network marketing. Wah, wah. So what, right? I can't even believe that held me back. Big deal. A million reasons, right? I was in the closet as a coach. People would ask me like if I was a Beachbody coach, and I was like, like, I don't like that term. That's like, it's like you're labeling me. Oh my gosh, if I'm not proud enough to say I'm a Beachbody coach and I help people get healthy and fit, I got no business being in this business. Right? It's not labeling. It's like owning and embracing what you're a part of. Okay. So I was in the closet massively, horrendously. Okay. I went to Summit. As many of you may have heard this story, may not. I went to Summit my first year. This was 7 years ago. And I flew home I was probably in LA for 18 hours. And I flew home on a one-way ticket that I could not afford. I wasn't earning money in the business yet. I went. I was lacking belief. I had some belief in myself at that point. I was lacking belief in the team and the company. And I went and saw all these people like going gaga goo goo over trainers. And I was like, what is the deal? Like, did Brad Pitt just walk in? Why are people freaking out? Right. And so I just was turned off, but it is where I was. It was nothing to do with the company. I wasn't connected to the team. I have a great upline sponsor, Janelle Summers, and Christine Dwyer, is her sponsor, is her sponsor. And, I was connected to those women, but not really connected to the teams, if that makes sense. I remember going to a party the first night I arrived at Summit. Like, I flew in from Michigan. I was, way up past my bedtime at this point because I was on Eastern time. I probably shouldn't have gone. I went to the party, and it was like the worst, saddest experience. If I told you, you would start crying for me. I had the wrong outfit on. I looked like a fish out of water. It was a white party. I had on a black skirt from Limited Express and a white t-shirt from Ed Hardy. And I thought I looked pretty fucking cool until I got there. And then I realized everybody had on a white gown and I looked like a jack beep. All right. So I couldn't wait to get out of there. I got back to my hotel. I knew that night I was going to go home. I'd just gotten there and I knew I was going to go home. Went to the super workout the next morning in Staples Plaza in LA. And I wasn't in the frame of mind to enjoy this, right? And I'm like, people are fawning over each other. It's a freaking workout. Get out of my space. I'm trying to do a burpee, you fool, right? Like, I just wasn't there. So I got back to my hotel room and packed up my stuff and got a cab, went to the airport, was like one of those people that went up to the counter and bought a ticket. $650 one-way ticket home. So that went over really great at home. And luckily, Janelle was open-minded and she just said, I'm sorry, this wasn't for you right now. And I said, I missed my kids, and I probably did, but I don't think that's why I went home. I did miss my kids. I do love my kids, but I was gone for 18 hours, people, right? So I went home, and a while later, my husband said, you got to get in or get out. I don't care what you do. He supported me. I don't care what you do, but like, you're on this fence. You're teetering. It's such an awkward place to be, right? Have you ever been on the fence teetering? Get on or get off. Honestly, I'll say that to coaches sometimes, like, it's your business. It's your job. It's your life. It's your future. Get on the fence or get off. Like, one toe in is so annoying. Why not you? Why does someone deserve this business more than you? Why does someone deserve more purpose, more freedom, more travel, more income, more relationships than you? No one deserves it more than you do, right? I just had to get off the freaking fence. So the deal breaker that made me jump into this business finally was being in my home office. It was like a closet office. I called it a cloffice. I was in this teeny tiny office, and my husband walks in and he says, where's your Beachbody money going? Because I liked Turbo at the time. So I was selling Turbo Fire. It was Turbo Fire, Turbo Jam. I was selling Turbo Fire to people. Shakeology just come out. So I was selling Shakeology, I was retailing. I was doing some stuff. He's like, where's your money? And I'm like, savings? He's like, no. I'm like, checking? He's like, no. You have no money from Beachbody. I'm like, oh, yes, I do. So I go log in my Coach Online office. I don't know my password. I can't get on. I was a coach for 2 years. Couldn't log on to my Coach Online office. Call Beachbody. Hey, did someone reset my password? I can't get out of my Coach Online office. They're like, yeah, we can reset it for you. You haven't logged in, like 6 months. So I logged in and I realized that I hadn't gotten paid from Beachbody. I had the screenshot to show it. I did not get paid for 6 months. And I didn't know it because I was so checked out, because they switched from a paper check to automatically they were enrolling you in EFT, and I hadn't entered my banking info. These are the glory moments of my coaching career. So when I figured this crap all out, like I got a password, I don't have didn't put in my routing number. My husband's like, you're 2 years into this thing. And I'm like, aren't I great? Right? So I just decided I was going to do it. I honestly just did. I was like, I'm so proud of me. So I went to a super tiny Super Saturday down in Toledo, and I heard Mindy Wender speak. And Mindy Wender's also from Michigan. Those of you nodding, you're like, she's a part of your story. She's totally a part of my story. Mindy Wender, super down to earth, relatable, like her, just cool girl. You can be whoever you want to be on Instagram. Ladies, this is not a judgment. You can be whoever you want to be on Facebook. I wasn't the coach doing cartwheels with sports bras on. And so I was like, I got to figure out how I can do this without, with being me, right? Like I wouldn't ever do that. And so that's just a silly example, but I remember thinking when I saw a bunch of coaches doing handstands and, like cartwheels on the beach and sports bras, I was like, oh my, I get lost in who I really was. So I met Mindy, super down to earth. Her best video ever is her sitting on a tractor in northern Michigan. She's on a freaking tractor, people. John Deere tractor. Saying like, hey, it's Mindy Wender and I want to talk to you about coaching. And there's like birds chirping and like it's like, it's like out of a movie scene. And I knew then that I could do this. I didn't need to have her same story, right? We don't have the same story. I wasn't dirt broke like she was, right? I had jobs. My husband had a job. I wanted more for my life, but I wasn't broke. I wasn't super shy. Mindy was super shy. So it's not like I needed to relate to every piece of who she was. I just needed to relate to a piece that you can be yourself in this business, that a girl in a small town or a big city or wherever you are of any shape or size, any personality, anybody could do this if you have the self-team of business. So I drove home from that and was like, I'm in, I'm all in. And I literally went from being not on Beachbody's radar, the girl not logging into her Coach Online office isn't getting a lot of attention. Okay. I went from that to a 5-star diamond within probably 18 months. Because why? Because once you just decide to go all in, conviction all in, dude, you just blow it up. Sky's the limit. If you're not where you are right now, you just have to gut check. Do I have conviction? Do I see myself being successful? It's not all about rank, so I'm not going to make that the dialogue, but it's something we can all at least understand. Do you see yourself as a premier coach, 2-star coach? Do you see yourself as a 5-star coach? Why not you? Right? You can't answer that question, why not you, with any legitimate answer. I just finally had to have some conviction in this thing. And when I really just started inviting, like it didn't matter. I started inviting without the emotional connection to their answers. I was emotionally convicted. I can't control how someone else feels about health and fitness or network marketing or having their own business. So I just started putting it out there to everybody. And I was emotionally disconnected from if they said yes or no. And I know that sounds weird, but it's good advice, right? I just started telling everybody. So I look at who my first 5 diamonds were. They're all people in my town. A mom who used to go to group fitness classes, another lady who owned a retail boutique who I just thought liked business and I thought would appreciate Shakeology. 2 of my friends from the community, and not my husband, I guess, was maybe number 5. We won't count him. 4, because you know that. Okay, so 4. But they're all just people I knew right here in my small town of 14,000 people. There were people right within my own demographic who could become diamond level coaches and build a 5-star elite team that went on to be 10-star, 15-star. I've never dropped rank from 15-star in the 4 years I've been 15-star. right? My business is built on solid foundation. I'm proud of that. And I share that because it's not smoke and mirrors. All right. So all these people had been here the whole time, right? All these people that I ended up working and growing, and by the way, they're also on my team that I started helping grow. They were all here before I wasn't logging in my office. They were all here before I didn't put in my routing number, but I finally came out with conviction. And I said to my friend Amy Showman and my friend Missy LaFave and my friend Sarah Morrison and Tracy Granata, I just said to them, I'm doing this. I'm fired up about it. Freaking love health and fitness. This is my calling. I want you to do this with me. I want you to be on this team with me. Let's go create some great things. I started doing random book clubs for women in my community over coffee on Saturday mornings. Why not? I was like, no one else is doing book clubs. So I just said, if you join my team, you can be part of these book clubs. Then it started to be, hey, if you want to get yourself to Emerald, you can be a part of these mastermind meetings we're having. I just started thinking of things I could do. No one gave me permission. No one gave me the rules. I just started creating them. Right? Like you have a blank slate in front of you to create this business any way you want. And I think that some of my early success after 2 years of failure, my then early success when I went convicted was I didn't ask permission. I didn't ask people what to do. I know that sounds scary, but ladies, I'd stopped asking people what to do. What do? You go find other people who like health and fitness. You go find other people who could use some extra income. You go find other people who think that going to a book club on a Friday night with a glass of wine is more fun than Netflix. You go find people who are not living their full potential. You go find people that just think it'd be fun to be a part of something. And I just invited. I invited with more conviction and easier back then than I do now. Why? Because the more you get into it, the more we worry about what everybody else is doing or what's the script supposed to read? How am I supposed to say it? What the heck? I just used to say, I think you're awesome. I would love to work with you. Fitness is great. Let's do this thing. Let's have some fit clubs. Let's get some people fit. Let's make some money and go on a girls' weekend. I just started telling people. All right. So anyway, that's my story. I've grown from there. I've never slid backward. I've gotten stuck. I've been in ruts. I've had, a broken heart in the business. I've had, I feel like I've had a coach on the team stab me in the back. I've had bad things happen, right? That's going to happen no matter where you work. So you might as well let it happen in your own business, right? Bad things are going to happen anywhere. People are going to let you down, disappoint you, whatever. They're going to happen in some other job. You're working for somebody else. So you might as well let them happen in your own job and deal with the way you want. Right? So I have always moved forward in the business. After 2 years of failures, I started moving forward. I've always kept marching forward. I haven't sprinted forward by any means. Over 6 years of me actually running the business, I have a superstar diamond business, a 10-star diamond business, 5-time elite. That sounds like a lot. That's a little inch every single day. I'm not up here from anybody else, nor did you think that anyway, but I do like the visual of I'm out here. So wherever you are right now on this Zoom, I've just run more laps around the same exact track that you are on. Make sense? I would love for you to see that visual. So when you see success, don't see it above you, because none of us feel like we deserve to be on that pedestal. So none of us have kind of like the guts to say, I want to be up here, but all of us can say, I'll be out there. Make sense? All right. I went over our time, but this was fun. And I hope you got some good ideas. And if there are any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
I hope you got some good ideas. Oh my gosh, you give me goosebumps every time I hear your conviction is so strong in your voice. You don't have to use your hands and be you're just literally, it sounds like you took a chill pill and you're just it just is what it is. And just you're so passionate about what you do. You just come through your tone of voice. I love it.
Thank you.
I absolutely love your 3 things. I know that in all years I've been in this business, 5 years, of course I've heard those things, but I haven't heard it that easy. Put it together. These are the 3 things. And then not only that, go back and piggyback off of people that are struggling and saying, listen, here's these 3 things and now rate yourself. And I think that as a leader, we could all use, I think it's one thing if you say rate yourself and then they rate themselves and then you never help them. But like you said, rating themselves and really filling in the gaps for them, helping them out. really knowing that as a leader, maybe it's your job to step up in certain places and their job to meet you halfway, and just doing that. But holy smokes, this was awesome, Trina. I love hearing from you and other leaders. And the last thing you just said, like my mind is blown. Like I have never heard. That's what I was trying to say to you, is that like I used to look like up to these people in Beachbody, and they're like so much more successful than me, and they walk into the room and the C parts, you know what I mean? And it's just like Beachbody famous, and it makes me sick to my stomach actually sometimes. But like you're not like that. You're down to earth. But that makes so much more sense that you're just been around the track. You ran probably multiple 10Ks over and over and over, and you're just doing your thing, and you just showed up. And I just find it super inspiring to be able to watch you and just to listen to you. And these tips are so easy to take back to our team and to take back to our own business. Yes. So anyone want to say anything? You have Trina on the call. Anyone? My team, sometimes the cat has their tongue. So someone better say something. Christina Phillips, you're saying something. I'm putting you on the spot because I need you to hear her voice, Trina. Okay. You ready?
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you. You know, I was sitting here going, I really want to ask a really good question, but you honestly just laid it right out there on the table, and I really did appreciate the out there. Do you know what I mean? Because it's true. Like a big part of belief is that we feel we have to go higher, and it's not actually the case. It's actually just stretching out and reaching out further and going that distance, right? And like you said, it's the marching, it's not the running. And I think a lot of people are always looking for that whole sprinting and making it happen fast because they see all these coaches around them do it. But like having that conviction and having those 3 topics that you talked about, like it was like, I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Because it just really put it out there and just made it so simple. And I think we overcomplicate this business too much. So thank you.
Amen to that.
Do you like her voice? She should.
Of course.
She make a lot of money.
I do.
Hey. We always make fun of her because her voice is so like sweet.
It's beautiful. So one thing I want to share really quick, Kiana, is that not that we're going to talk about like what I do in my business and it's what you do in your business, but let me just give you a sneak peek of what I mean by marching and not running. And that I tell my team a lot that inches, a famous quote from Vince Lombardi, Packers coach from Green Bay, is inches make the champion. And I've thought that for so long. I grew up in Wisconsin, so I've always heard that quote. But the idea is that you don't make a touchdown really with 100-yard pass ever in your career, right? But you earn it inch by inch by inch by inch on the field. And so in this business, I don't ever judge my day or my week or my month by did I blow it out of the freaking water? Guess what? I don't need to blow it out of the water. So many people, unfortunately, will quit or fall back or turn to gray or go inactive that I don't need to blow it out of the water. I just need to keep going. So I run challenge groups every month, just like all of you do. I post about Shakeology and ask who's interested in knowing more. I talk about my kids drinking it. I show myself doing a workout. I work with my coaches one-on-one as much as I can, 25-minute speed coaching with my coaches one-on-one. I do team Zooms every Friday. I do all this in between all the things that you all do too, right? So there's not one grand thing. I don't have a big marketing campaign. I don't have a fancy website that's producing all these leads. There's anything wrong with any of those things, but I don't blow up my YouTube every day. Those are all awesome things. I know what fits in my life for me, still working, husband working, having kids in sports. Like I'm not going to go create something huge when I don't have to. I just have to show up and run a group and talk to a mom at soccer about this 3-day freaking refresh, right? Like it's just all these conversations, but I show up every day and I show up when it's not convenient. And that's why I keep walking around the track in the snow, in the rain, in the sleet, in the whatever. That's why I keep going. And I give myself the grace of I'm not trying to hit Success Club 20 in a week, right? I'm just trying to have some conversations. I'm trying to help a coach out, right? But because I show up every single day, consistently on social media, consistently with my coaches, consistently with my challengers, it all adds up. Those inches have made me this, right? So I hope that makes sense.
Yes. Can I say one thing? And then I promise you, like that makes total sense. And I think that it's just about the idea that you hear this all the time, just being consistent and choosing to show up and showing up when you don't want to and showing up when you know you need to for yourself just as much as anyone else, I think is a big part of that. But the thing that you said, stop watching what others are doing and just shut it down and don't go on your newsfeed. I am so guilty of being really good at that and then feeling like I'm stuck or I'm slowing down. And so then I'll go to someone's newsfeed. And then I literally give myself anxiety thinking, you're exactly right. Like you said, it only leads to questioning,
doubt and questioning,
and wondering. You could always think of 5 things that they're doing better. So I'm committing to my team and to you guys to stop it, because I'm always preaching self-love and I'm always talking about it. And it's the one thing I struggle with a lot, that if I just put my head down and get to work, I have absolutely no problem. Like I can come up with some good posts. I rock my live videos. I can do that. I just start to question myself. And I think it almost, when you get into that mode, you almost start attracting different people. You're not attracting the people like yourself, because you want to be like someone else, or you take different ideas. And so you're kind of eclectic. Does that make sense? And that's what I've noticed sometimes, is that I'll try different things because someone did something, and it's not that that's wrong, but then I'm like, I knew that wasn't me. Why did I do that? Like just what you said, like I don't have any organizational skills whatsoever when certain things. And so I just know for me,
that's not a great takeaway, team. That's not a great takeaway. So find some organizational skills.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. I was not finished. My internet paused.
Okay, I'm like,
my internet
give me a better answer there.
Skills whatsoever. So no, my internet paused. I have no organizational skills, but that wasn't what the point was. But I'm just saying that, like, sometimes I'll look at someone and be like, oh my God, I have to start this website, or I have to go track on Teamsy. Oh wait, I have to also do Google Documents, and now I have to do this website. And now, but the truth is I've built my business to 5, to whatever it is. I don't even know what it is. Today it might be 5-star, tomorrow it might be 8. I have no idea, guys. But, up and down is that I built my business based upon connection and relationship. It had nothing to do whether or not I used Excel. Does that make sense? So I just feel like for me, one of the things that I believe is that what you put out, you attract back into your life. And that as long as I'm not getting distracted, I love that you said that your husband came home and he's like, did you see what happened? And you're like, no, which is very unheard of for a Beachbody coach, because I feel like a lot of Beachbody coaches feel like they have to live their life online and I don't know, bleed Beachbody blue. I don't know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Just all the time, every single day, when really it's just like, no, log in, do what you need to do, log off, and go to the park with your freaking kid. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that helped. Thank you, Amanda. Oh, you're saying that to Kiana. Oh, okay. That's awesome. Yes, we love her too. So anyway, I hope it was helpful. Those are my suggestions for you. When you show up with your team, when you show up with your challengers, be calm and be confident. It has been a great way to progress as a leader myself. Conviction and enthusiasm are always awesome. And when you show up calm and confident, other people are confident in you. So that's awesome, ladies. Thanks for having me tonight. And if you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook at TRINA Gray Fitness.
You hit it for home for us. My girls are going to be blowing you up in my team page. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for taking the time tonight, TRINA. I appreciate it.
It was super fun.
I will probably see you in Punta Cana, maybe.
We're crossing.
Is it Punta Cana or Punta Cana? How do you say it?
I'm not even going to correct you because it's just so dang cute. So no worries. I love how you say it. Say it. Who cares? I've never been there either. So it's I'm on the teal waves, so I'm on the first wave.
2 days early.
I will see you in the pool.
Yeah, I'll see you in the pool. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye. Have a good night.